guys, we are going to dive in and get started. So just as a reminder, Monday's calls are master classes. So people's VAs are more than welcome to jump on. I did mute you all, but everybody's VA, a lot of people's VAs are in here. So thank you, awesome virtual assistants, for joining us on this. Just as a reminder, we made the announcement 2 weeks ago that on master classes, the VAs are going to join us. Just to make it a little bit easier. Some people were wanting for me personally, to teach the VAs on these classes, so we just decided to let them join us. If you're still new to our program, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays are for Q&A questions. Those are for the employers only, but we are just going to dive right in. So today's topic is Facebook business pages. If you guys have never been on one of our Monday calls, they are all recorded. They are put into your course, and then also feel free to chat away as many questions as you have in the chat box. But just as a reminder, this is virtual assistants and employers mixed together. So feel free to ask any questions you guys have in regards to Facebook business pages. I'm going to spend about the first 30 to 40 minutes just talking about best practices, things that we see people do successfully. Guys, as virtual assistants, we all have different employers. So by no means, if you guys are the VA on this call, you're obviously going to see that the way your employer may want it done differently than the way we do it. If you're obviously the employer, you can obviously give dictation to your VA. So I will share this document at the end of today's call with you, but we just kind of want to go through some of the basics of a business page. So the very first thing that needs to happen as far as a virtual assistant working on your business page is we got to make sure a few things are set up right. So a few things that we want to start from the start is we want to obviously, pretty basic, we want to have a good cover photo. Now, for you guys that are giving suggestions and you guys are thinking about ways to improve your social media, one way that I would recommend is having your profile picture for your business page also match all of your other profiles. So if you guys will see that I'm kind of limited today, I don't have access to all of my Facebook because I am in Facebook jail. So if you guys are having trouble getting a hold of me there, just know that I am in Facebook jail and I only see about 10% of what I would like to. And so when it comes to this, we want to make sure we have a good profile picture, good cover photo. Take some time, figure that out. Make sure you guys just work with your employer to make it look good. The reason why we like to keep our profile picture the same as our personal profile is it starts to bring what we call an omnipresent look, where your business pages are everywhere. Now, guys, when it comes to a Facebook business page, this is something that you can point your employer back to, you can point your VA to. Business pages do not sell homes. And what I mean by that is business pages are not in its own entity meant to sell a home. Business pages are what we call validation checks. So a validation check is when you're out there being a real estate agent, people might look up your name. Your employer might go sit on a listing appointment, and then they might look you up. So they want to make sure of a few things. That number one, you look active. So you want to make sure everything's up to date, right? Whether it's your phone numbers, your websites, whether it's your emails, etc. And then from there, all we want to do is just make sure that we're seeing post engagement over and over and over again. That, at the end of the day, guys, is really as far as you guys need to take your business page. Now, some of you guys think I may be crazy and I oversimplified it, but stats show that people rarely will find a business page in an organic search, no matter how much effort you put into it. From the standpoint alone, Facebook wants you to pay. And so as we get into later topics of running ads and different things like that, of course, it's super important to make sure that your business page looks good. And so the number one thing that we always get the question of is, Justin, what type of content should I be posting on my business page? Now, I want to give you guys all a name of a business page that you guys can look up. It's one of the best in the nation. So you guys can kind of model some things after here. So this is the Joe Taylor Group, and I will put this in the document that I will send you guys. They are absolutely one of my favorite groups in the entire nation in terms of the way that they run their business page. And so if you guys are looking for inspiration on best practices, better practices on what to post on your business page, this is an absolutely fantastic group to follow. So what you guys will see is on their business pages, one of the things that they do very differently than anybody else in the nation is they will consistently post homes that are for sale, right? Because when we think about it, what does our consumer want? They want to know that we as a real estate agent post homes for sale. And so the reason why I wanted to show you this is I wanted to show you the difference between this page and the page that I kind of set up just as an example. And so if you look at this page, if a client were to look at this, they're going to look at the Joe Taylor Group as, wow, they have homes for sale. Wow, I can text here. And they can look through photos, right? Why do clients love Zillow and Trulia and all these websites? It's because when they get on there, they can see things that are pertinent to their market. Now, if we go back real fast and you look up the page that I just used as an example, you're going to see a drastic difference here in the quality of page, right? So this would be what we kind of consider a regular agent's page. They post a few things, they post some things that look the same. And so when an agent gets on here or a consumer gets on here, you have two totally different feelings. This feeling over here on the Joe Taylor Group is obviously more of a home style, and this is more just kind of, it looks like an ad, it doesn't look as clean, doesn't look as friendly, where when we go to the Joe Taylor Group, what you guys are going to find is you guys are going to find much more friendly content. And so what you're going to see is when you mirror these together, it becomes a lot clearer on the best practices, on the best management. So I just wanted to bring that up to you guys. So I'm going to bring that up. I'm going to throw it in the chat box for you guys. So you guys can take a look at that page. If you guys are working obviously on a team, or if you're the agent and you don't have a ton of listings all the time, there are ways for you to share other people's listings. So a lot of these listings are not theirs, they share them, and this is kind of a great way to get a very good looking business page. Now, what you will see is they don't put high pressure on their team to come up with a ton of creative content. They use this in and of itself to be their entire page. And so when you're looking at, did they get creative? Did they use special Canva type posts? No, the answer is they were pretty straightforward. They use photos of homes and they use this type of format over and over again. And so what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to take this format and kind of give you guys an example. So the number one thing that we can post on our business pages for our employers or instruct our VAs to do is what we call listings, right? Leads, listings, and leverage is the name of the game. And if you guys can just make sure you stay on mute for me, shoot me any questions you guys have in the chat box, and I'll be more than happy to answer those. So listings. So the number one thing we can do is we can post listings. So the way that that looks is we would post, number one, we would post anywhere between 8 and 15 photos of the home. Now, the reason why we post between 8 and 15 is because we don't want to show everything about the home. You will see consistently that they only show a certain number. Sometimes if it's a really spectacular home, they'll show them all, but sometimes you'll see that they choose to not show all the photos for certain reasons. And so when we do that, you guys can see that they run their business page in like 10 minutes a day. Like they're not spending much time, but they're regarded as one of the highest engaged Facebook pages in the nation. And so we have this myth that we need to post more. And the reality is we really don't need to post more. We've got to make sure we have the right content. And so what I'm going to do is I took a few of these here, and you guys are watching me do this, is I'm taking a few different things that you guys can just go in and copy and paste out. And so you guys can kind of see the few different examples of the ones that they use. And so in a matter of, I would say 5 to 10 minutes a day, you can have your business page looking like this. Now, the number one thing that you need to do when it comes to this is you got to make sure that you're using listings that you're allowed to use, right? So depending on your brokerage, depending on if you have a team, if you're a solo agent, you need to work out with your employer whether or not you can use certain listings or not. Now, if you're doing commercial real estate or mortgage real estate, or you're a broker, or you own the brokerage, this can obviously all be different things, but the same principles apply. Is we want to show that we're active, right? Even if you don't have any listings, we can still borrow listings from coworkers and colleagues as long as we have their permission. So I would definitely highly recommend that you guys do that. And then what we do is we'll write some details about it, right? So if I was to do this for Nashville, Tennessee right now, and let's just look up Nashville, Tennessee real estate. Let's say that I was the VA or I was wanting to make some posts like this. What I would do is, let's just say that this was my listing right here. I'm just going to give you guys an example. What I would do is I would immediately download 8 to 15 of the best photos. And then I would come over here, and usually what I'll do is I'll just split my screen like this. And then I'll just start to write the description. So in this case, make offer, complete remodel. I would look at this. Okay, that's not a complete remodel. I might say cute brick home, amazing price. And then I would go, oh yeah, let's put 3-bedroom. You know, we don't need to put the bath. It's got a 3-car garage. And then what I would do is I would go in here and I would put a whole bunch of the features. Now, obviously in the MLS or on these different websites, you'll see the features. So, you know, wood flooring, new HVAC. So you could almost take all of these details here and you could just copy and paste it into here. And so we could do that. We could clean it up, make it look a little bit better, make sure all the grammar's right. And then all we're going to do is we're going to take the website link to that website and we're going to paste it right in here. Now, for most of you guys, you have your own website, or your team member has your own website, or you have your own website, whatever it may be, and you would go to your website first. So for example, when I used to do this for the Mike Nelson team out of Colorado, what I would do is I would go to MikeNelsonTeam.com. Oops, I guess they searched that. They changed that. Search Northern Colorado Homes.com. What you would do is you'd go to the website. So every team member, you probably have a website. If you don't, that's totally okay. And I don't even know what the website is. Get here real fast. All right, here we go. Let's just use this one for example. So what you would do if this was your website, you would go and find the home on there. So we would do an advanced search. We'd go find that listing wherever it may be. Then once you have that listing, you would take that URL and then that's what you would place here. The reason why you do that is because now it's going to direct traffic back to your website in terms of getting you leads, increasing that flow, different things like that. Now, let's be very clear. I wouldn't expect very many leads from this, but it's definitely something that you can do. So the number one thing that you can post on your page is listings. If you don't have listings, you may need to borrow them. So guys, we are currently writing out the exact process of how we teach our VAs to build our business pages. People will have their VAs spend 10 hours a day building a business page.
All right, I'll buzz you in.
Give me just 1 second, guys. Let me make sure everybody's on mute. Please just ask a question in the thing if you need to. So number one is we have, and we see this over again, people like Justin, we're struggling to build a business page just because you're spending way too much time on it. No one searches it out just to figure out, am I going to buy? Like, it's a validation source first and foremost. We have to change our mindset on that. So the number two thing that we can post is we can obviously post client reviews. This is absolutely one of my favorite things to do. And you guys see me do this a lot when it comes to real estate or virtual assistants or social media training and different things like that, is we will post a lot of client reviews. Now, if you've never, for most of you, your client has probably never asked you to post client reviews because it's not something that is done very regularly inside of the industry. And it's one of the biggest places for opportunity for us to keep growing. So I want to show you guys an example of how I would build a client review from scratch. And I want to build it from scratch because I want you guys to be able to put your own artistic spin on it, obviously as the employer or as the VA. Now, if you're the VA and your employer is a little bit less hands-on, obviously you might be making this. But if you're the employer and you're like, all right, I want to make it first, it's great because if you make it first, I almost will always make what I call these templates first, because once I make the template, I will never again have to really worry about, is it the way I want it to look? Like, we got to simplify the business so we're not always changing things. And so let me show you one of the ones we designed a few weeks ago so you guys can get an idea of how we did this. So this is an example of one that we did 2 weeks ago. So the way that I would do this one is I would take something like this and I would type in homes. And again, you guys can spend as much time as you need to make it look good, but I would do something like this. And then you want to make it, eye-catching. And so what I would do is I would do something like that. And then I would go in here and go, Justin Nelson, client review. And now again, I know there's a million different ways to do this, but what I would do is I would go in here and I would then throw out some photos in here. So I would throw our logo, I would throw everything that we possibly can on this. I'd put my logo up here. I might even take out the time, really just depends on the look you guys are going for. But I would take something like this and then I would start throwing then I would throw my logo. So let's say that this was my profile picture. And I would throw something like this in here. And we want to put client reviews. So if a client left you a review on Facebook or Zillow or Trulia or wherever, we would do something like this. Now I might even go up here and I might like add an element box. And you guys will see that in our weekly social media send out, we give you guys examples of these that you guys can just rip off and duplicate. So this kind of looks a lot like the one you guys may have saw last week. So we'd go in here. We'd go text and we'd go client success. And now this is just another thing that we can post onto our business pages as a VA every single time one of our clients goes on here and gives us a client success story. So again, putting your own branding, putting your own style on it, there's a million different ways to do it. Obviously, that kind of goes with the flow. So feel free, if you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat box. Remember, as a reminder, if you guys are new to our program, Mondays are master classes where we're just covering a certain topic. This week is best practices to managing a business page. And so we're just kind of walking through how we would build one of those. So to kind of recap here, number 2 thing that we can post is client reviews. This is some type of templates that we can post over and over and over again. And so it's a template that kind of has 3 main elements that we want to make sure that it has every single time. Element number 1 is we want to make sure that it obviously has the team logo. We want to make sure it has the team name, or if you're a solo agent, solo name, we want to make sure usually that it has the client picture up. If the client has a picture of them closing, different things like that. And then it also has the written testimonial. So that is an absolutely great kind of second thing that we want to consistently post on pages. Now, if you're currently not closing a ton of transactions, that's totally okay. We can also go back and backdate these. And so that's a really big thing too. A lot of us have hundreds of clients in our past, but we may not have 10 coming up this next month. And so it's critical to obviously go back and we can do what we call post dating a business page. And so what that means is when you're on your business page, which I'll show you here, let's say that I was going to my Justin Nelson, the kind of the bad page we're showing you here, the one that isn't done right. If I was trying to fix this, what I would do is I would take that post, I would go here, I would post it. So let's just say I'm posting here. And when I went to post it, you can actually backdate and schedule. So if you post scheduling are available in publishing tools. So what you can do is you can click on publishing tools and you can post this in the past. So if I needed to post something back in like a month ago, 2 months ago, it's a great way to make your business page look older than it is you can post in the past. You can, and in the future as well. So that's kind of item number 2 is posting client reviews, an absolutely fantastic way to do that. And just, and when we say client reviews, it doesn't necessarily have to be client reviews. It can be client successes as well. And so a lot of you guys already do this. You post, hey, congratulations, we just had this home go pending. Like, let me give you guys another example of this. Let's say that you were in charge of making the under contract posts, different things like that. Another great way to do this is, let's say that this was an actual picture of the home that your clients or that your team just got under contract, right? Building templates to every single time go, hey, we just got this under contract. So while we say client testimonials, we obviously mean client successes as well. Now, don't copy and paste exactly what I'm doing here. You could make this look way 100 times better. And we send you some on the weekly send out guide as well that you can copy and paste from the template section. but just being able to add your branding. And so when we look at the Facebook business page, we want to post client reviews, client successes, and process updates, because that shows that a team is consistently closing a lot of transactions. I'll give you guys another example, another page that I like to follow in terms of this. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased from helping them set this all up in the day. Is when we look at this, you guys will see really good examples here of kind of some templates that they're using. Again, we're showing success over and over and over again. And so if you're on a team, this is perfect too, because it's giving that agent a success. So I will post a link to this page as well, along with the Joe Taylor Group page, for you guys to go get some ideas from. So you will see that this page right here does a really good job of what we call and consider posting client successes. And because this doesn't require your client to send you a review, right? This didn't require permission from our client to say we just listed, right? They want you to do this on the marketing. So you'll see a whole bunch of just listed, coming soon, under contract. And so when you look at this page, you go, wow, this team is busy. And so I like the way that they're splitting some of the photos, and you can see this one was for a closing. And so that's just a great way to get an idea of how teams are showing that. And so if you take that in combination with someone like the Joe Taylor Group at Love Local, and you combine those two styles together, what you're going to find over and over again is that you've now completed your entire business page planning in just a few minutes. Like, your VA can do your entire business page and make it look like the best in the nation just by having a good cover photo, a good profile picture, an updated profile, and just posting listings, whether they're yours or someone you can borrow, and posting client reviews, client successes. Now, I'm a little blunt. This style is not for everybody, but I truly believe that the day is over where we're posting on our business page the right way to stage a home, the right way to fluff your pillow the right way. Like, I think that that is disappearing. And it's not only that I think, we have research to show that when you're posting things that mirror what Zillow is doing, mirror what Trulia is doing, mirror these websites, and providing the end consumer what they want, you're just seeing an incredible number of engagement of people asking for more information, rather than you do a lot of people's posts that don't get any engagement. Now, I think number 3 that we can post is what I call fluff content. Now, this is where most people spend most of their time. They spend all this time with their virtual assistant building fluff content, which is good. Like, I'll give you guys an example of this because it is needed for a business page. It does make you look good. So I don't want to say that it doesn't, but these are things like home staging tips, right? Or these are things like holidays, right? And again, these are things I teach. I do think it's a good idea, so don't take it wrong there. But if we were to only post this fluff content, someone's going to go to your page and, they might go, awesome, they're a good agent, but it's not going to stand out. So fluff content is holidays, right? It is wishing people a happy Christmas, and that's all things you need, but that's what we consider fluff content. That's easy. Anybody can find that for their business page. These are the things that actually make you look like you're standing out from the market. And so the number one question we got when we got requested to do this video was, Justin, what are the 3 things that my VA should focus on building my business page around? If you can focus on screaming client reviews, client successes, and process updates, this is also going to make you look busier than you might actually be. And then this right here is going to make you look like you're a real estate agent. You help people buy or sell homes. We do not help people stage. We do not help people wish them happy holidays. That's not going to give you that business presence look in and of itself, but it is something that we highly recommend that you do. And so the other question I get is, well, Justin, what if we're not as busy as we'd like to be right now when we're growing? Guys, we post client successes all the time from 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 12 months ago. Like, now I'm not going to say we just got this under contract if we didn't, but if I have a client success that left me a client testimonial 6 months ago, I might use it again, right? It's no different than a commercial. Commercials don't have a time limit on it on when they can use that client review again, right? It can be used over and over and over again inside of our thing. And so when we break it down like this, I want to show you guys the best way to manage your Asana account if you're using a virtual assistant to do this. Now, if you're the virtual assistant and you want to bring a smoother process to your employer, this is the #1 way that I would recommend doing it. The #1 way that I would recommend doing it is I would create a new project. So if you're inside of Asana, and you guys know mine's obviously quite big, so yours might be a little bit more empty. All you would do is you'd create a blank project. You'd call it social media scheduling, right? You'd call it social media scheduling, and we're gonna do something a little bit different. We are going to use a board format. Most of the time we teach people to use a list format. In this case, we're going to use a board format. So when we use a board format, what we're going to do is we're going to set the different stages. So for example, I might do planning content, right? And then I might go needing employer review. And then I'm going to put pending post and then post it. Because for a lot of you guys, the #1 question is, Justin, how do I know how far ahead I am, or how do I know how prepared we are? Well, the #1 thing that we can do is I might say, for example, planning content, you know, today is November 30th. So I might be planning content for December 1st through the 8th, right? And so if that's my, let's just take this all out for a second. Let's make it easier. December 1st through the 8th. So as the VA, I'm going to make a list of the things that I think that we should post this week. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go, all right, let's start off with #1. What is #1? That is listings. Okay. So what I want to do is on Monday, I want to post 123 Main Street, Nashville, Tennessee. Okay. And then on Tuesday, I want to post 5476 Tulip Street, Nashville, Tennessee. And then on Wednesday, I want to post, you know, 86. Now this obviously can depend, are you borrowing listings, different things like that. So you do need to get permission and make a game plan for this to make it work. So that's okay. So that covers that. Now let's say that, so that covers kind of our making sure we look like a listing agent, make sure we look like an offer. Awesome. Now I'm going to go through each one real fast, and I am going to create the verbiage for it. So what you can do is you can just open this up, pop the description of what you're going to write on the post in here. And you guys will see it'll open it up here, but that's okay. And what we'll do is we can build that post within here. Now we're starting to get there, right? Now let's say that you had this listing, you wanted to put the photos in here, it's now ready to go. So we do that for all three. Let's go back to this. What does Justin say we should do next? Client reviews, client successes, process updates. Awesome. So we'll go back here. Oh yeah, awesome. My employer, I just know they got one under contract at 789, you know, Ferry Way. So I am going to do that one. So this is going to be a pending post, right? Oh, and then I know that they just got one under contract this morning at 987 Ferry Way, right? We're gonna make a pending post for that. Oh, I know that we're closing one on Friday, so I'm gonna go ahead and prepare a 567, you know, Charles Way closing post. So we can get ahead of schedule by staying organized here. Now, once you go in there and you make these, what I would recommend you do is, let's say that this is for the closing that's coming up. So we did this for the closing. What I would recommend doing is, once you got this all pretty, you could download it and then we can put it directly into Asana. And the best way to do that is to just copy and paste it as a photo. So if I were to open this up, we were to go to the file section and I get it from my computer, and I were to go to my downloads, it'd be right here. And,
Polish.
and when we upload it in here, what you're gonna see is it's going to allow for us to stay organized. And now you have what we call a social media schedule being built all within inside of your Asana account. Because the number one complaint we get is, Justin, we have content calendars here, and we have Asana, and we have all these different things. Well, we just do our social media scheduling inside of our Asana. So once you've built out the schedule for the week, you can then go, awesome, I just finished this one. I'm going to put this here. Now, what I do as the employer or as the team leader is I want as many of these to go into here. My VAs will put them in here when I'm done, when they're done with them. So they're saying, hey, we've already built these, we've put them here. Justin, can you review them for us? Now, I've gotten to the point where I don't even review them anymore because I like our style. My social media manager's been with me for a long time now. But if you're looking for a good balance in the beginning to make sure you get the graphics right and the spelling right, and as you're building that trust up between the VA and you, or you and your employer, this is a great way to do it. So like for me, I don't even have this step. My VAs just go straight from here to it's pending. But if I was wanting to review it as the employer, I'd go in here and go, awesome, that looks good, I love it, awesome, I'm gonna drag this here. And when I drag these here, that is me telling my virtual assistant that, hey, I love these, let's go, we don't need to do anything with them. Now, if let's say on this one there was a mistake and I didn't want to fix it, what I can do is I can go down here and I can mention, hey, Shireen, I know you worked on this, I found a mistake. Can you fix the graphic, right? So that's kind of up to you on whether you guys are going through that proofing process. And when you comment that there, you're gonna see right here, there's a little comment section right there. And there's a thumbs up, there's a like section, different things like that. That's now just me waiting for them to come back and fix it and do it for my thing. Now, as the VA goes through the week and they post these for me, they'll go in here and put them as posted. That way we can kind of keep track of all the postings for the week. And so my team and I will go through this once a week on on our huddles. So if reminder, we love doing daily huddles with our team. So if you're not doing those, highly recommend you're doing those. And then from there, that's kind of how we create our social media schedule. Now, some of these guys, so like for me, one thing I do is everything we post on Facebook, we also post on LinkedIn. And so this is kind of like we also post everything we post on here on Instagram. I use what we call a 3x3 strategy. I make 3 posts and I'm gonna make sure that goes everywhere. And so for us, we know that if that means it's been posted on Facebook, LinkedIn, and all of the different platforms if it got posted inside of here. So that kind of, in a nutshell, is how we recommend you guys run your business pages. Again, number 1, listings, you may need to borrow them. Use this simple format. I will also put a link to the Joe Taylor group for you in there so you guys can take a look at their business page. Again, absolutely fantastic business page that I recommend looking at. So let me just pull them open for you. And then I will get you guys all a copy of this quick little guide. So with that being said, feel free to shoot me any chats, guys, in the chat box. With any questions you guys have, this time is yours to ask questions about this subject. And then as always, remember Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are for employers only, and those are the Q&A calls. So I'm gonna get you guys a link to this. I'm gonna post that here for you. And then be on the lookout for that inside of your chat box here. So feel free to ask me any questions you guys got. Now, I'll just be honest with you, I didn't really cover any video topics. Obviously, it goes without saying, if you can shoot a ton of video, if you love being on camera, the more that you can do that, the better. But I just wanted to show you guys some topics that don't require any of your time if you're having your virtual assistant do it for you. But if you're not a camera person, I'm not going to try to beg you to do it, but obviously being on camera, videos 10 times, more effective as far as that goes. So I will share this document with you guys, but feel free, fire away in the chat box any questions you guys have. There's that for you. Perfect, perfect. So that has concluded the Facebook business page topic. So let me know as we got some questions here. So Cody, as far as a business page goes, great question. So Cody said for posting links, I've heard posting in comments versus posting directs is better. When it comes to a business page, whenever you make a business page post, you're not making it to be seen. And what I mean by that is, let me give you guys the best example kind of some behind the scenes thought process here is I want to kind of show something to you guys. This was explained to me in a class a few years ago. And you guys are gonna have to ignore my really, really, really bad drawings here. So someone told me to imagine like almost like a strip mall. And when I imagined the strip mall, what they told me was, hey, Justin, imagine a strip mall and you have all these really, really famous places that are about to open up, right? Let's say that you have a Best Buy, right? Let's say that you have the new local bar. Let's just call it a local bar for now. And then let's say that you have the new nail salon here, okay? And then let's say over here on the left, you have X, Y, Z real estate. When it comes to a business page, in other industries like retail, and Cody, I know you obviously have a retail business too, is when it comes to businesses like this, when someone is driving their car down the street, so you can kind of imagine a really bad drawn car, if they're driving down the street, what we're gonna see is if they go, real estate, that's one thing. If they go by and go, oh, there's a grand opening for all of these stores, I wonder when they're opening, what their times are, what their deals are, what are their Black Friday specials, right? Where would you go to find all of that information? You would go to their business page to find that information, right? It's going to rank high, it's going to be easy to search, and that those businesses are going to actually pull a consumer in. They're going to sell a consumer just by spending $0 on their business page, because the eyes of the driver go to these places. When it comes to real estate, no one drives down the road and goes, wow, a real estate office with 1,000 people in it. I am going to randomly go and search Justin Nelson, XYZ real estate, right? It just doesn't happen. It is super rare to ever show up in a search. But what does happen, and this is kind of the main point of why we're taught to have a business page, is when this is, sorry, let me figure out how to change that. When this is me as a, let's draw a different story now. If this is me as the real estate agent, when I am doing my different lead gen sources, whether it's Facebook ads, whether it's door knocking, right? Whether it's building a bigger sphere of influence, right? Sphere of influence, whether it's business to business marketing. When I'm having conversations with these individuals that do not know me, they are going to be the ones that go and look at our business page, right? So it's actually the other actions that are not directly correlated to our business pages, right? These retail can get away with just building a business page and letting things sell from it. For us, all of our time still needs to be spent in these activities, and that's when people will look up our business pages, right? A great example of this is in the businesses I run. Whenever I look at my businesses, I have a website called Sphere Rocket VA. This is where everybody comes to hire our VAs. Yet I don't do anything to this website. This website stays very stagnant all of my work has to be done here, right? And for me, it's the same thing. It's Facebook ads, it's podcasts, it's all these different things, it's referrals. And that's when people look me up, they're going to go to my page. And if you guys go to sphererocketva.com, one thing you're going to see is three things. You're going to see, number one, client testimonials, right? Number two, you're going to see VAs for hire, right? Number three, you're going to see some resources, as I call it. And so we follow the exact same process. And so to answer your question, Clay, the reason why I bring that long-winded answer is when you go to make a post on your business page, whether you have a link or no link or wherever, it doesn't really matter, because it's all of these activities that are going to lead it there, right? You're not making that post hoping to go viral. So I would say that's probably the biggest way to look at that. So great question. So Lee asked, hi Justin, we posted a video of a new listing Friday. Is it okay to post pictures of the property today? And how often should we post one new listing? So when it comes to a new listing, guys, having a listing is absolutely fantastic. And so we can kind of call this in here the life cycle of a listing. We want to absolutely squeeze everything we can out of a listing, because a lot of you guys are in markets just like me. A listing is gold. A listing is hard to get. A listing doesn't come often, right? And so what we want to do is we want to squeeze it out. So I would do it obviously coming soon. Make sure you're following the rules of coming soon. I would do a just listed. I would then do an under contract, right? If you guys have a price reduction, I would do a price reduction one. And then from there, I would do a just sold if it's sold. And then I would do a client testimonial, like off that listing. So there should be the way to do this without it feeling overwhelming. And so that's kind of how I would squeeze it. Now, of course, what you don't want it to do is you don't want this to be post number one on your page, and then someone scrolls down and then they see this is number two, and then they see that this is number three. So that's where you could obviously mix in a whole bunch of different stuff. And that's where the fluff comes in, right? That's where you can put things like home staging tips, holidays, wishing people a happy Christmas, wishing people a happy Thanksgiving, whatever it may be. That's where those can come in here and break up the monotony of the page. So you guys will see that if you were to scroll far enough in the room here for the VAs, is you'll see that come all the way through here. Is you'll see they'll post some random things like, amazing fixer-uppers, and they'll post some videos, and they'll kind of break it up. But that's kind of what I would recommend doing in that standpoint. So great question. So love that question. What else? What other questions do you guys have? I know that was quite a bit of information just about business pages, but we find that consistency and ease of content is what saves the day. Well, cool. I know we're 12:45, so I don't want to keep you guys forever. I appreciate your guys' time. Oh, we got another question. Love it. Oh, no, we don't. Lee, thank you. You're very welcome. Make sure to remind you guys, these calls are for your VAs as well. So every Monday, feel free to jump on. If you guys haven't seen the newest calendar, make sure you guys go check out our calendar of all the calls we have on master classes. And yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions on anything. Just as a reminder, if you guys as an employer have any urgent needs, I just put Shireen's email down there. She's got a great question for you. Joanne says, is it okay to keep the auto post on the business page, blogs, etc.? Yes, absolutely. It is definitely great to keep auto posters on there if you have them. No, I don't think they're necessary. The key here is you don't want it to look like, let me go find you an example. Oh, mine, the one that I showed you that we use as a what not to do example. This is a great example of what not to do with a business page, okay? And this is why we use it. Look, this is posted by an auto poster. When you look at this looks boring, it looks crafted, it looks just plain. Now, if you had this and I had homes for sale listed and I had, client testimonials and I had it broken up, this content would look extremely good. This would be what I call good, engaged, like content that could be done on an auto poster, but it's missing that if someone were to scroll through this, does Justin actually sell homes? Like, what does he do? Does he actually have listings? Because these all just look like tips, right? And so taking something like this that's done on an auto poster, you guys can see it's done on auto post every day or so. The answer to answer your question, yes, auto posters are great. Just make sure you're putting in content in it that makes it look like if you went to this page, you'd go, wow, that looks like it's auto posted. If you went to the Joe Taylor group, because of the way that they do their content, it looks like someone has actually taken the time to go on there, type something out, even though behind the scenes, what we're learning is this only takes like 30 to 45 seconds per listing that they want to do. Super, super quick. You also have the chance to capture leads here. With the way we just showed you on the other page, you have no way to capture any leads. So great question. Love that. Yep, Lisa, these are all recorded. So just as a reminder, if you guys don't know where they are in your employer course. They are at the bottom. You guys will see they're listed by date and by title, and we dump them all in there. So we'll also post a link to this in the Facebook group. So if you guys want to share it with your VA, make sure. The reason why we don't blast these to your guys' VAs and blast is because if we blasted every single call we did to your VAs, what you would find is basically, hey, Justin, why did you send my VA something to do on social media if your VA is actually a cold caller? Or, hey, Justin, why did you send my VA something on cold calling if they're actually a transaction coordinator, right? So we want to make sure that we're giving all the content to you, and then obviously you can dish it out as needed, or your VAs can just make sure that they're always jumping on these calls. So, well, I hope that was helpful to you guys. As always, let me know if you guys have any questions at all. I am still in Facebook jail, so if you guys are trying to message me on Facebook, just as a reminder, I will probably be in Facebook jail for a very, very long time based on some of the things we're working on, the tools that we're trying to push the bounds on Facebook on. So if you need to get a hold of me, the best way to ask any questions is emailing Shireen@sphererocket.com to get those questions answered. And you are very welcome, Lisa. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end today's call. Remember, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, our Q&A calls. Feel free to jump on there with anything and everything. And just as a reminder for you virtual assistants, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday calls are not necessarily for you. We don't want you on those, of course, because we're talking more strategy and tactical things to help better organize us, not necessarily tips like this. But if you do have any ideas, guys, just as a reminder, your virtual assistants and you as VAs, you all have access to the chat rooms that we give you access to. Please post in there if you guys have any topics that you want us to cover on these master calls for you. We are more than happy to knock out those topics of training for you to make sure that we're giving you guys all the absolute best service. So with that being said, thank you guys all for jumping on. We will see you guys next week.
Hey guys, Justin Nelson here. I just wanted to give you guys more information on where you can learn more about our services. If you want to learn more about our virtual assistants, you guys can just check in the links below in the description to learn where you guys can go and schedule a call with our team to learn all about what a virtual assistant can do in your business. And if you're looking for social media training, same thing below. You guys can go below and check out the links to our social media training, the latest and greatest things that we're up to. We'd love to have you a part of our Sphere Rocket Elite social media training, or we'd love to obviously help you find a rock star virtual assistant. With that being said, before we end the video here, make sure you guys like, make sure you subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next video.